Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Propulsion Swimming Podcast. I'm your host Scott and back with me as always is my good friend Dan. And on this week's show we are talking to the University of Birmingham head coach Gary Humpage, essentially before one of the most fun competitions of the year, Bucks.
Yes, hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. I'm a little bit nasally, so sorry if my voice is a little bit off for this episode. But as everyone knows or should know by now, Bucks is just around the corner, and we've said a million times on the podcast how much we enjoy the event. And what better way to build up to Bucks than having a coach from a top swimming university chat all about it with us.
Yeah, so before we get into this week's podcast, have a listen for what's to come.
To me as a coach, it doesn't matter who you are. If you want to improve, then I'll work with you. That part of the club, we have some real success stories. People who couldn't even tumble turn, they could not swim more than 200 meters. And by the end of the year, there's been a vast difference. And to me, that's success. I'll get so much reward from that. Seeing those swimmers improve as, our very top swimmers smashing it, the Bucks and, international finals, etc. And it's such a privilege to be able to work in education, help those swimmers and athletes at university, and then see them on a second career. And I really enjoy that sort of coach-student interaction. I think universities are doing an absolutely fantastic job of keeping seniors in the sport for so much longer. Because, I hear a lot of clubs will struggle at the senior level. And then I go to Bucks and there's like hundreds in the warm-up at short course and such a vast array of different swimmers. Yeah. And I'm like, it's wow. Yeah. To see that all the way from the more participational swimmers up to the elite swimmers, all in as one, to see that all together is just absolutely tremendous, and it really does keep people in the sport.
So on this week's podcast, we are joined by Gary Humpage, who is the head coach of University of Birmingham. Now, while we said in the intro, this is kind of a preview about Bucks, what this podcast actually turns out to be is a whole lot more holistic view on university swimming as a whole, a lot more about participation and enjoyment, and essentially how that is getting the rewards at a performance level for the squad of University of Birmingham, right at the top level, but all the way down to the social aspects and fitness as well.
Yep. Yeah, the enjoyment and participation is key in this episode, as well as, of course, we've got to talk about Bucks, which is an amazing atmosphere on poolside, which I'm sure Gary will talk about. It's absolutely incredible, and stay tuned because it's a very, very, very good episode.
Yes, so let's jump straight into this week's podcast. Gary, thank you for joining us on this week's show. How are things with you? I know you had a busy day on poolside already for a Saturday.
Yes, it's been a really busy week. We're just coming off the back of our training camp a couple of weeks ago in Lanzarote. And we're probably about to start our descent down into Bucks, start freshening our swimmers up. So it's been a really heavy week of training. Quite intense, accumulating some lactic tolerance work today. And probably we had 3 different sessions going on through all levels of the club today. So we had 2 hours of performance, hour and a half the competitive squad, and then we have our fitness squad in as well, and development squads. So a really busy day poolside, but it's really good. It's a great way to end off the week.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Now, we are going to touch upon kind of the whole setup of University of Birmingham because it's one that me and Dan don't know enough about, but it's certainly an interesting one that we'd love to learn a little bit more about. But a place we do usually like to start with coaches is, what's your journey through swimming coaching been? How did you get to head coach of University of Birmingham?
I was training at City of Birmingham and I needed to get work experience, etc. And I was placed at University of Birmingham to get that work experience. And as I went through the 2 years work experience, I sort of had a chance to start lifeguarding. There I met a guy called Brian Fellows-Taylor, who was an ASA tutor. His daughter used to swim, Liz Taylor, she was City of Coventry, and he introduced me to teaching. And so I got involved in the teaching alongside my swimming and ended up lifeguarding. And then that kind of developed into, a few years later, getting involved in the coaching at the university. And then I sort of had a 6-month break and went to the States and got some coaching experience there. Also, when I came back, the coach who was taking the sessions at University of Birmingham had just moved on to Iceland, Brian Marshall. So we needed a coach and I offered to do it for the first year. And in that year, one of the swimmers qualified for European trials, big PBs, so they kept me on. And then after that, the first team was like 1996. The team was probably about 12 swimmers. There was probably about 30 to 40 swimmers in the whole club at that point. And then we just developed, and a few more swimmers the next year came to the party, and then it kind of developed from there. Around this time, I went on to get my sort of Swim England and ASA club coaches, and then just developed my own sort of experience, ideas, trial and error, the usual kind of journey, picking up different things from different coaches, and really went from there. One of the big helps was Ian Omega, who invited me to look for a few times and to see what they were doing with the international swimmers, and took things and some of Ian's philosophies, mixed it with my own, and brings us to what we have today at Birmingham.
So should we delve into the Birmingham University setup then? So what is your programme like at Birmingham? Is it the same as your sort of regular swim club?
Yeah, we have about 4 different tiers. We have a performance squad with 24 swimmers who are at English national to British Championship international level with Ollie Morgan. We have 14 hours of pool time, and we do 2 hours S&C per week. They go into the gym with their own S&C coach. That squad is a performance squad within the university, so we get support from our sports science, sports nutritionist, sports psychologist, really the whole shebang.
Big old team.
Sports physio. We have it all there in one building for them. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's got really comprehensive setup. We then have a competitive squad who are sort of regional to national swimmers. One of the swimmers from that squad, Dan English, he took over a minute off his 1500 last year. Ended up going 16:22. They swim like 5 sessions a week, probably about 11, 12 hours.
Okay.
They do land session, have access to land work too. And they swim in sort of makeups our second, third teams at Bucks, and they do some of the Boozle swims. At the Buttle, none of our first team swim in that.
Okay.
Because we want to broaden the participation out and give other areas of the club chance to compete in the real true spirit. And then we have a development squad, and that squad has probably about 50 swimmers in. We have 4 sessions a week. We like them to commit to at least 2, so they get regular work, regular training, but really focuses on their fitness, healthy lifestyle. Some swimmers might want to start back in that group, and we can actually bring them through to the competitive group and so on in throughout the years that they're there. And we have a fitness group, another 60 swimmers, and that's really recreational, come and go as you please. So in the whole programme, we have sort of an area of the club for absolutely everyone. So a real broad base of participation that goes all the way through, and you can progress from one area into another. We can play swimmers to suit their needs, which is a really cool thing.
Well, that's a big university program going on there, especially.
Yeah, we've got 160 swimmers in total.
Wow. Are you overseeing everything?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get involved in the almost that fitness one. I'd put that to my university experience as like the social, where you get to know people at university. That's a really important part of university. Yeah. So you as lead coach, you get involved in that as well as right at the performance end.
I do. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
how I finish my day. And to me as a coach, it doesn't matter who you are. If you want to improve, then I'll work with you. That part of the club, we have some real success stories. people who couldn't even tumble turn. They could not swim more than 200 meters. And by the end of the year, there's been a vast difference. And to me, that's success. You know, I get so much reward from that. Seeing those swimmers improve as, you know, our very top swimmers smashing it, the bucks and, you know, international finals, etc. So, yeah, I'm involved in that. I have two other coaches. Josh Bradley is the head coach of Halzone, who does a fantastic job with our competitive squad. And Gareth Comerford, who's Wally Wasp's coach as well. He takes our development squad. So I work with both of them. They both have full ownership over those squads. So I just oversee those squads in those areas.
Okay. So 160 odd swimmers then. How do you get the pool time for them? Is there a separate pool at University of Birmingham solely for you guys to use?
No, we have our own 50-metre pool right on campus.
Okay.
And we have a fair bit of dual time as well. So in that time that we have, so we might have 4 lanes competitive, 4 lanes development, and so we can work it through the program. In the overall program, we probably got about 25 hours plus. So we're really fortunate to have so much pool time. And it's all at really accessible time for students as well. You know, nothing
Not
too late,
morning,
not overly early in the morning. Our performance squad are absolutely beautiful. They're really nice time. So it enables them to swim in the morning, lectures, and get another afternoon session in. We start at 7 a.m. for our morning sessions, a long course. So we use it really in a really clever way. We maximise the time that we have, and it all just runs like so efficiently.
So with all this pool time and almost a bit of freedom for these swimmers to almost pick and choose which squad they want to go into, do you attract swimmers away from the usual universities, your Loughboroughs, your Baths, your Stirlings?
We're beginning to. There's a lot of swimmers who are looking this year, and they've either, you know, put down Loughborough, Bath, Edinburgh, Swansea, and they're looking at Birmingham within the mix. We've had swimmers come over from Loughborough to come and take a look and come and sample some sessions, to come and train with us. So that's absolutely just starting to happen over the last couple of years. So it's really picking up some momentum.
Why are swimmers doing that? Is it a case of at Loughborough, if you're... So you could be a national level swimmer at Loughborough, but you're buried in the E team because they've got so many high level swimmers. Is that what you're saying to swimmers? Look, if you come here, you're right at the top of a performance program. We can focus with you.
Yeah, one of the things we do at Birmingham is really look after the education and the swimming. 3 things: health first, education, swimming.
Okay.
We're really looking after the person.
Is it a red brick university? Is that the right phrase? It's a really prestigious university. I do know that.
Yeah. It's got an absolutely beautiful campus, with Old Joe, the big clock tower as a centerpiece. I think it's the world's tallest freestanding clock tower. The campus is absolutely gorgeous. It's such a great place to work every day. It is a really prestigious university. Some of the courses, i.e. sports science, is like in the top 6 in the world. And so, you know, we've got some great things going on within the education part of the university as well. So, you know, that's attractive, mixed in with the swim program and the success we're having is making Birmingham a really attractive proposition.
Yeah. Are you at the point where you're actively recruiting some swimmers when they get to the senior age of 18? And if you are, what kind of attributes are you looking for in these swimmers?
We're not actually actively going out and approaching swimmers.
Okay.
But we're reaching out on social media, broadcasting the success we're having, highlighting the swimmers and the success that they've had, to actually, you know, draw those swimmers, and, you know, actively competing at British Championships, English nationals, British Summer Championships. So we're getting a lot larger presence on poolside. And that in itself is where the attraction is.
It's like organic growth, isn't it?
And applying, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've been really impressed with the recent success of swimmers like Ollie Morgan and Sam Neild. I mean, you must be quite happy with the progress that they've made, but also the other swimmers as well, to have such a full poolside.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost 100% PB rate. This year, the Performance Squad have hit over probably 100 PBs.
Wow.
Since October. And that's not counting the competitive squad. So it's a really improving program. All swimmers have come in, they're improving vastly, and some of them, like Dan English, taking a minute off his 1500, they're big drops. I know Sam's took like 0.68 since October off his 100 breast. Ollie came in going 56.9 for 100 back, and within 9 months we're at 54s.
It's big drops.
So
that's amazing.
Huge drop. It's more sort of the quality of what we do, very targeted, looking at the weak areas, looking where we can make those changes, and then swim on swim, cycle on cycle, addressing those issues, and then carrying on from there.
So would you say that's the secret? Is it more sort of an individualised program for these certain swimmers? We try and focus on where we're going to get the biggest gain. I know Sam made some adjustments to his eye line when he's swimming breaststroke, or where his head position is. That's made a difference, and where he applies the power into his stroke. Sam's a super athlete. He gets so much feedback from both Ollie and Sam that, you know, it's a combination. Me talking to them working with me, and, you know, getting together to work on this improvement. Yeah.
Have you got any specific non-negotiables from the swimmers in your squads?
Non-negotiables. We don't really, they must hit the sessions that they are meant to do. They come every day and give their best effort. They must, when we're at meets, absolutely do everything as they should, warm down, do their pre-pool, hit, their preparation well. And another one, we leave the area where we've been better than we've found it. What the image we present is very important, so sort of the poolside behaviour is absolutely paramount. So, that's kind of discussed as a team, and the team take great pride in and respect for wherever we go. They're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, because you were saying before we started the recording that you have an absolutely no swearing policy. What is the reasoning behind that?
It's just absolute respect for everyone else around the image of the team, the university we represent. We're very proud to be representing University of Birmingham, and it's such a privilege. And to be part of our team, this is the way we are. Buy into it, and it's just respect, discipline, and any successful team. Take Manchester United under Alex Ferguson, Brian Clough under Nottingham Forest. The cornerstone was discipline, respect. Absolutely. And I think once you get that, you get more of the buy-in, the team comes together, unity, respect for others. But this is who we are. I'm
sure that makes your life as a coach a lot easier as well, because everyone's respectful, everyone's treated essentially as equals.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a coach that likes to lay down all these rules, but we can then have fun with what we do.
Yeah.
I like to go to work every day and enjoy what I do. I like the swimmers to have an environment where they enjoy being. So, we can get on with working hard, having fun with what we do, have that two-way interaction, that banter across the swimmers and the club, and support from myself. We just want to make each session special, and each session something that they feel is worthwhile, and they've put the effort in, they've been supported, the coaching staff care, and the swimmers absolutely give 110% effort to Birmingham. They work so hard, and they do so well to balance their academics and their swimming. To me, for them to leave with good grades is as important as the swimming. And over the last 4 or 5 years, they've been leaving with 2-1s and firsts, and quite often it's more of a first and a 2-1. Most students aspire to a 2-1.
Yeah.
The swimmers are tending to push beyond that, and we want firsts, and they may not really know.
I mean, as someone who's gone through I've done university degree, 2-year master's degree, I know it is really hard to get a first. It might sound, for someone who's not been to university yet, it's 70% and above to get a first, which doesn't sound like much, but to get to that level, you really are some of the top students in your essentially subject at a university. Actually, something in America I know that they do is, if you're going to race for the university, you have to have a certain, I think they call it GPA, so a certain standard. It doesn't sound like you've implemented it, but is there a chance that to race for some universities in the UK, you might need a 2-1, a first, because you do want these academics to come first? Do you think that's ever a rule that needs to be implemented, or do they just? I
don't think it needs to be implemented at all. We just need to be mindful as coaching staff that the students will need some support to achieve that. And sort of on a weekly basis, I'll check in with how the academics are going, and they all know that if they need a session to get their work done, if they need to take 2-day sessions off a session, that's no big deal for us. I know they're going to come back better swimmers, because the weight's going to be took off the shoulders, they've dealt with their academics, and it's a short period. They can often make it up, and then they come back as ready to work again, and they've got that support, that flexibility to be able to come and talk to me about that and take that little bit of time. It's my 26th season at the university, and I more or less know when those areas of work are going to be coming in. Yeah,
there's obviously points.
We can change things to really help them out.
I
think that goes a long way. So we don't need to hit those, as long as we're listening to them, supporting their academics, and taking that interest in how they are in their other areas of life as well, because there's more to life than swimming.
Yeah. I like that. I really like that.
We really want them to have a great all-round experience, whoever they are. And that's why our squad systems set up so they can actually choose which squad they want to be in. As long as they hit the parameters to be in that squad. That way we don't pressurise our students.
Yeah. I mean, with university swimming, you're dealing with adults, effectively, student adults, and you're not having to really deal with parents. Would you say that's a more beneficial to deal with the swimmer themselves and not any external factors?
I think it absolutely is, because you can have those honest two-way conversations, and the swimmers will actually let us know, and if we can just listen and see what we can do to help them. I think that really, really goes a long way with the students, and it really helps them. And you can almost see a air of relief when you listen and go, okay, let's do this. What if we did that? And my job is, how can I help them? It's not to tell them what they have to do. It's how can I help this person be better? How can I help them with those academics? How can I help them balance the two? And what do they need?
Is that the reason that you've stayed at a university program for so long rather than looked at a club program, essentially? Because it's adults, is that the interactions that you enjoy?
I honestly can't say whether I'd enjoy it more than an age group program. I really enjoy coaching university. I enjoy the turnover of dealing with different students every year. It keeps you fresh. It keeps everything a challenge. So I really enjoy that. And it's also, you get to meet some absolutely extraordinary people who you see them go on to do, incredible things. Sort of 2 girls graduated probably 2000, and they both became world-class triathletes. Rachel Joyce and Chrissy Wellington, they were actually teammates on the same team. And the swimmer left and became a BBC News correspondent. Jenny Hill she's the German correspondent. So, and it's such a privilege to be able to work in education, help those swimmers and athletes at university, and then see them on a second career. And I really enjoy that sort of coach-student interaction. And they've got some really good things to say. They all bring something to the pot. They come from other good home club programs, and I can actually draw on their experience and their knowledge as a university coach and bring a bit of that into our program. So, and that just keeps on happening. So that's another reason I love working at university.
So you put a bit of responsibility in their hands as well. Of course, they have to do their own sort of being on time, being punctual, doing pre-pour themselves. You don't have to push them to do that. So in a way, it kind of makes your job easier. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And, we can discuss sets. And sometimes I'll have a set and we can say, well, can we do it in this way? Can we make this change? And as long as it keeps the fundamental aim of the set, I'll say yes. Okay. Lexi Waller last year would come to me and go, I like that, but can I do this way? And it was always, why do you want to do that? And she'd tell me, and we're like, yeah, all means, let's go ahead.
Oh, I like
and
that.
She did a fantastic job of the sets when we did that. And it was just incredible to see the difference it made to her.
Yeah.
And her progress at university when she came from not really wanting to train very much to the last year where she absolutely hit all the sessions as a 6 and, really got stuck in and made absolutely massive improvements. Like, she got down to like 214, 212, so 200 backstroke, made massive improvements that year. It was fabulous to hear Lexi say to me, I was going to stay and do another 3 months up to Christmas. And she said, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going out to the States. I want a new challenge. To see her grow and to see her be able to go, okay, I want more now. I want the next step. I want a new challenge. And she knew she loved swimming enough to be able to do that. So she's ended up at Drew University out in Missouri. Again, really enjoying it. So to have helped Lexi like that.
Yeah.
And that was like partly the approach that really helped to have that ownership.
Yeah.
She knew what she needed.
Yeah. I really like that philosophy of giving swimmers their own ownership. I think I saw on Twitter the other day, if a swimmer asks their coach, why are we doing this set? And the coach can't explain why they're doing the set, they should never do it. But essentially what you're doing is kind of reverse slightly. So it's you give them the set, the swimmer says, I want to alter the set. You say why, and if they can explain why and it fits, then great. I really like that philosophy. And I think both of those philosophies actually work really well within a swimming program.
Yeah, especially with those senior swimmers. It gets the buy-in. They really believe that this is going to be the best thing. So they work twice as hard. This afternoon, the distance swimmers had a choice of 2 different main sets. A little bit one was a little bit more sort of aerobic-y and race pacey. The other one was full on lactate, and they could choose. And they went for the 200s.
It's an interesting type of mentality, because if it comes from them, it feels like that they've come up with the idea when actually you've written a session, but they've just changed or they've chipped away at little bits, but the ultimate aim stays the same. I think that's very interesting. And obviously that wouldn't happen at your standard swimming club. That can only really happen at your, let's say, the performance centres or your university swimming, I imagine.
Yeah, you know, we're in a position where we have one age group, and we can have that flexibility. We've got the space to be able to do that within the lanes, and a couple of swimmers might go, okay, I want to be part of that. I'll swim this this set, and that's absolutely fine. And as I say, my job's to help them and support them through it, to allow them to make those decisions. I think, you know, it's so important, and it's teamwork again. You know, it's me putting the initial idea, them maybe tweaking it a little bit. Sometimes I'll say, you know, this really needs to be done this way, but I'll always give a reason. Everything we do in training, from the warm-up all the way through to the swim down, there'll be a reason why I've done it.
Everything you're saying is like exactly why I loved university swimming. It was so much fun, and obviously I think university swimming is so much of a bigger day. Well, it's college swimming over in America. It's so much of a bigger deal, but in the UK, I think it really is an underappreciated aspect of our sport. I somewhat wish it got a bigger profile because it's incredible. But when you go to university, you really do. No matter what university you go to, I went to Nottingham Trent University. I wouldn't say they were known for a big swimming program, but I loved every session. I loved every moment at university swimming, and I kind of wish it grew slightly in stature over here.
It's a real enhancer of experience, and their overall university experience, it really makes it. And they make friends for life. They have a shared experience, and I firmly believe we're not just in the business of performance and sessions, but we're in the business of making memories for them, helping those swimmers make memories that they'll share for the rest of their lives. I think that's one of the real cool things about it. So that's why I like to have fun with what we do. I like the swimmers to have fun in the sessions. I enjoy what they do, push their limits. I think universities are doing an absolutely fantastic job of keeping seniors in the sport for so much longer. Because, you know, I hear a lot of clubs will struggle at the senior level. And then I go to Bucks and there's like hundreds in the warm-up at short course, and such a vast array of different swimmers. And I'm like, it's wow. You know, to see that all the way from the more participational swimmers up to the elite swimmers, all in as one, to see that all together is just absolutely tremendous, you know, and it really does keep people in the sport. So, you know, big shout out to universities all over the country for doing a great job.
I mean, the success stories that you must be almost endless. Like you were saying at the start, like someone couldn't do a tumbleton at the start, and then they managed to do that, and then do 200 meters, and it goes right the way through the squad, I imagine. So it's amazing. It's amazing to hear.
The philosophy of Birmingham is like, it's not who you are, it's what you add in, it's what you can improve on. And to me as a coach, whether someone has improved that 100 and tumble turned, or they've qualified for, you know, British senior nationals, British finals, won medals at British championships, they're all doing the same thing. They're all just improving themselves, but they're doing it on different stages, different levels. And, you know, that's really, really good to be able to nurture and to be able to work with a range. So, you know, me as a coach, you know, as long as the swimmers are putting the effort in and they want to achieve something, want to get somewhere, want to, you know, be clear with what they want from it, I absolutely love working.
I think it is really important for longevity in this sport to not see success as times or medals. I think that is essentially that's the reason. I'm not going to say that's the reason you've been there for 26 years, but I can see it being a reason. I really can.
Yeah, it's one of the ways to set the swimmers up. We don't chase times. I like them to swim fast for fun.
Yeah.
Work hard in training. Give it their best. We're going to have high days, we're going to have low days, we're going to have days when we're tired. But at the end of the day, I'll say to them, did you give it your best? And they said, yeah. Well, then, that's it. Keep that up.
Job done.
Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's my job to watch those swimmers and to see what we're getting back in the sessions and make those little adjustments to the program, to the sets, to the weeks, to help them along. And I think one of the biggest things that we do at Birmingham is we watch for where the swimmers are. You know, university, you can throw so many challenges at swimmers, workloads or the pressures, and that's enough sometimes for them to be a little bit overtired or, you know, not quite on song. And if we can help them make those tweaks to change something, then, you know, the performance of that swimmer generally improves.
So with that mindset then, heading into Bucks in a few weeks' time, what are you setting as sort of your goals when you head into that meet? Because it is seen as the major university meet in this country. You're talking happiness, you're talking... you're not really talking performance goals, but so how do you approach a meet like that as a squad?
We go in with a lot of positivity. We go in as a combined, we're going to take this on. We're going to race hard. We're going to be tough. We're going to be good sports people. And we're going to just enjoy the challenge. We're going to go and race you. And that is, we're going to use that opportunity to actually get some fast swims. So I try to deflect as much pressure as I can away from the swimmers, and I'll get them excited for about what we're about to do as individuals, as a group on the relays, as a team overall.
Interesting. I mean, what does the meet do for the university as a whole? Is there sort of funding involved if you do get high performing swimmers there?
You know, we're really well funded as it is. So there's not a whole lot more of extra funding that we get, but it is taken on board, and we'll probably get more sort of S&C. We'll get a little bit more lactate testing. So those things that are going to bring something to the part, help us on to another performance. That may be improved, take another step. You know, for us to be adding into Bucks points for the universities, a real major thing. So that'll be one of the main aims that we fulfill as a performance team at the university. We're bringing our part to the part of that greater overall thing across all the other sports, to bring in Bucks points for the university.
I think me and Dan consistently say we loved racing at Bucks. I think we've said on this podcast so many times how it's one of the best meets in the country. But as a coach who's attended it many times, why do you think it is such a big, and what makes it the amazing event it is?
The students, the passion, the rivalry between the universities, the fact that there's some real fast, close racing, and racing at the Bucks is very close. The depth now is incredible. And I think that atmosphere that the students all bring together, cheering, supporting their teammates, really makes it almost an electric event. And, it's something special when you get so many people in one venue, as such as Sheffield. There's spectators both sides of the pool, teams on both sides. And the atmosphere is just incredible, and that really lifts the athletes, and it makes it something special. Yeah,
so often at swim meets it can be, because they're so long over a weekend, it can go a bit silent, a bit solemn. So I agree. I fully agree. The students cheering is, well, it's one. It's the loudest poolside, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea that you have your performance swimmers, but then you also have your so-called social swimmers who are there just to enjoy the occasion, not try and get times, like you're saying. And that mixture, I don't know what it is, but it just creates this electric atmosphere on poolside. And then, of course, on a Saturday, some people go out and it's all great fun again, and it's all back in again on Sunday, It's awesome. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah, you know, and it's that collective friendships together, I think, that cause it. No matter which team you're from, you're within a group. You're representing, you're part of, and I think that's really special. You know, I'll see some of the bucks, and you see this, everyone just having a go. Everyone's competing. Everyone's, you know, putting their little bit in for the team. And, you know, we never know. Some swimmers, it might be their first meet.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's special in itself, which, you know, it's just such a great wide spectrum of swimmers. You know, I wish we could take more of our swimmers to bucks and, you know, give our development squad swimmers a chance to go at bucks. But, you know, with entries and space, etc., you know, the numbers just are not achievable. So, you know, this year we had 4 swimmers in each event all the way through. So we doubled our entry capacity, and that was I think one of the factors that probably why we did so well. The team was bigger, there's more support, and everyone was bringing something else to the mix more. You know, we all the way through, the swimmers who were competing for bucks for the first time, they may have been our 4th fastest swimmer, but they still smashed PBs, and they still hit it the best, and that was really great to see.
Yeah.
Oh man, Gary, this whole podcast has got me wishing I was back at university again. I've got the blue. I've got the blues slightly now. I tell you what, I might have to grab my camera and come poolside at Bucks and just see if I can get there. I think I'd really enjoy to see that one more time. Now, we do usually finish our podcast with some quick fire questions. We've got a coach's edition. Do you sound up for those?
Sure, yeah.
So what is your favourite stroke to coach?
Breaststroke.
Who is your swimming idol?
Pablo Morales.
That's a new one. What is your proudest moment in swimming so far? Big one.
Mike, there's so many. It's hard to choose. I think it's really hard to pick one. I think it was that first team that qualified for national finals from University of Birmingham.
Very nice.
That point,
nice.
Yeah, that was the launch pad.
Yeah,
and I tell our swimmers this, and some of the swimmers in that team actually still swim for Birmingham Masters within our university pool. And I'll introduce our current team. Then this is our captain from 1996,
cool.
The first team that we had.
I like that.
And from that is why we have what we have today. So that the team now gets that link with its history. I think that's really important. So I think those finals, that Bucks teams finals that we hit there, and I think they came 5th. That was such a great moment.
That's cool. What's the hardest set you've given out in training?
Gosh, hard in like different ways. I think I gave one this morning to someone remotely. She'd gone home for the weekend and she still wanted to swim. So it was like 600, and then we went 8 100s off 120 race pace. 600 A2. We went then 8 50s off 50 race pace.
Cool.
600 A2, and then 4 100s of 2 minutes best effort.
Jeez, that is not a lot of rest on those first ones at the beginning. Jeez.
I just wanted to get ready for a distance race at Bucks in a couple of weeks and just feel what it's like to some of those paces, little rest with, and then A2 flush out between. So we'll try to condense it down as much as we possibly could to replicate that.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that was a pretty tough one.
That was this morning. So
She did it this morning. You know, for our swimmers to still want to be away, need to go home for the weekend, but have the desire, the dedication, the commitment to actually request a set.
Yeah.
And I didn't impose it. She asked for this. It's great to be able to do that for someone.
Yeah.
And then I got the feedback. By the time I woke up this morning, the feedback's on my phone. She texted me, and this was the results, and I woke up, ready for the next one.
Damn.
See, I think if Scott did that, he said, "Right, I'm leaving. I'm leaving now. I'm not going anymore."
It's too many meters for me.
Yeah.
I can fully understand that, though. Given the whole conversation we've just had, I can understand, actually, from just speaking to you for half an hour, 40 minutes, I can understand why a swimmer would almost want to request a set like that. I can see why your swimmers are still involved in the sport as much as they are. That's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you. Thanks. That's such a nice compliment. It's energy. Our swimmers will tell you, when I walk on the pool side at 6 in the morning or 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm full on. I'm switched on.
Nice.
I'm like, excited.
Yeah.
I think that transfers to them.
100%.
And it transfers in competition as well. When we go to competition, the higher up the competition is, the more relaxed I am. I need to be there, right?
Like it.
If I'm nervous, they will be nervous. So I'm just excited, looking forward to it. And I think that transfers to the swimmer massively.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really important. So, it's that energy that I give. The swimmers give that back to me. And it's just self-perpetuating, and it just, helps them get the best out of themselves.
100%. Final question. It's going to be a little bit of a curveball, but it helps our listeners get to know you a little bit away from the swimming pool. If you were to go on a road trip and there's 3 spaces in the car, you can take friends, family, celebrities. Who would you take with you?
Friends, family, celebrities.
You can
I'll take my team. I'll take our team.
Take the whole team.
Take the minibus.
Yeah. Chip the Ponds Forge. There you go.
Yeah. Probably I'll take Mel Marshall.
Nice.
Yep.
Because she's such a great sort of inspiration, and really knows where she wants to be, and such a great communicator.
Yeah.
Musician, probably Steve Tyler.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And then who else? It's tough.
It is a tough question to end with.
It is really, really tough. Probably Elon Musk.
Ooh. I wouldn't mind having a conversation
For some
with him
reason,
right now.
that name has never been mentioned throughout our whole 3 years, if I remember right.
That's crazy. Different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Outside the box.
Yep.
100%.
So
Interesting.
we have Steve Tyler, People's Entertain, rocking along. Elon, bring the ingenuity, the creativity.
Elon and Mel Marshall in the same car. I think that would be really interesting.
Well, keep everything on track.
Yeah.
100%. Gary, this has been an amazing conversation. I have enjoyed every moment. I really want to go back to university right now and enjoy university swimming one more time. But best of luck for Bucks in a few weeks' time. And just thank you for this conversation. And this is what university swimming should be about. If I'm honest, anyone who's listening, this is what university swimming is about.
It's really, really exciting. It's such a great positive experience. And it really enhances the time at university. And it's great to know that, the people that come to Birmingham, one, we will really look after those swimmers. 2, we're going to create some great experiences. we're also looking at Friends for Life throughout the team members, and I think that's really special. I'm still actually friends with most of our old team members all the way back to 1996 on my Facebook group. Oh, wow. I don't link to anyone else, any family. It's all Birmingham alumni. So we keep in touch with the whole Birmingham family, and at Birmingham we are a family. The Swimmers refer them to themselves as Brum Swim Family, and I think that's something special that's been created there.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for coming on and sharing your story with Birmingham Uni. It sounds like an amazing place to be, and obviously you're getting results there, and it's not just the performance guys, it's the guys lower down in the fitness groups as well, doing a great job. And best of luck. Like Scott said, best of luck for Bucks, which is just around the corner.
Thank you very much. Part of our philosophy is that everybody matters. It's exciting to be able to do that. So we're in a really good position to really help a broad base of different types of swimmers and different aims and goals, and that's a real privilege. So it's been great to be on the show, and I'll look forward to many more podcasts and bumping into on poolside in Sheffield.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you very much, and see you soon.
Thank you.
So, Dan, a fantastic podcast with Gary Humpage, who 26 years leading the way at the University of Birmingham. We've said there are some amazing performances coming out of there, but actually the whole conversation was not about performance. It was about enjoyment, and that is what university is. It's made me want to go back and race bucks yet again, which is only a few weeks away. Maybe I can go sneak on poolside. But that whole podcast was everything that's good about university swimming.
Yeah, I mean, we already kind of knew how good Bucks was, and he kind of cemented that yet again further because the atmosphere is cracking. But I was almost blown away by what Birmingham University are like. Like, they have their separate squads, and almost the students, the swimmers, can pick and choose which squad they want to go in. They've got almost full responsibility of what they do, so much so that they can change a little bit of the set if it makes sense, like Gary was saying. Fascinating episode. And honestly, hopefully this is spread far and wide, because this needs to be known to all students, all 18-year-olds, that the possibility is there, not just performance-wise, but participation-wise as well.
I think the whole concept that he brought up of ownership was really important. Yep. Now, if you're in an age group program, if you're an age group coach, it's probably something that you kind of preach to your swimmers. But when you're in a university aspect, Dan, I know you were kind of university. You've been a university coach actually, haven't you? You've done that. You've not done the whole degree and that route. No. But everything is ownership, not just swimming. Like, you've got to cook for yourself, you've got to clean, you've got to get to your own lectures, you've got to do your work. No one's forcing you to do anything. You're not going to get chased. If you miss a deadline, you miss a deadline, that's done. You'll fail your degree. It is ownership. And it's the same he's taking into swimming. And the fact that the ownership means these swimmers, if they challenge his set and say, I want to change this, I want to do that, the likelihood is the outcome at the end of that session isn't going to really change. They are just, or at least for his swimmers, it perceives that they're involved in writing their own session. And it's a set that, I mean, they've given themselves effectively. Why wouldn't you want to do a set that you've given yourself? You've got no one else to blame. You're going to enjoy it and put 110% in. And he's finding the outcome. Like, he's finding that.
Well, he's finding that swimmers, when they go home, they're asking for sets off him for them to do at home. Set. I mean, yeah, horrible set indeed. Yeah, was that her idea? I can't remember what he said now, but it's a horrible set either way. But it was interesting that he said there were 3 parts to the university, almost like the philosophy of it was that you have to be healthy, number 1, and then it's a student, number 2, and then a swimmer is 3rd. And that's 2 episodes in a row, like Nathan Hilton said this last week, that it's the human comes first, the swimmer is almost 2nd, or the swimming is 2nd. And if that's not a message to take away, then I don't know what is. But yeah, fascinating episode, fascinating.
And we didn't even touch really upon performance aspects. We did in points. We talked about some training mechanisms, but not in big details. It was all about participation, essentially.
Enjoying. Yep.
But the results that are coming out of University of Birmingham, because of this enjoyment, because of this atmosphere, they are good. Like, I've earmarked Ollie Morgan as one to pay attention to in the 100 backstroke for the next few years. I've fully got my eye on him. So there are good performances coming out of that squad and that performance program.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely no secret that if you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to get results, and it's clearly working here. Gary, absolutely loves what he's doing. If you're watching on YouTube, my word, the enthusiasm, he was beaming, he was smiling throughout. So yeah, he loves his job. The swimmers clearly love what they're doing, and it's bringing results. So he's doing a great job, and no wonder he wants to stay there for probably forever. He's been there 26 years, and it's going to continue, no doubt.
Talking about enjoyment, I do enjoy it when podcast episodes turn into... It was just reminiscing. I just loved it.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that just about rounds up this week's episode of the Propulsion Swimming Podcast. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so on our new YouTube channel, the Propulsion Swimming Podcast. Until then, though, me and Dan will see you in 7 days' time.
Yeah, thank you for listening, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next one.
You've been listening to the Propulsion Swimming Podcast with Scott and Dan. We want to thank you for joining us and invite you to subscribe to the show, as well as checking out the Propulsion Swimming YouTube channel for weekly tutorials and videos to get your swimming fix. We will be back next week. Until then, we'll catch you on the next one.